It looks like they are picking up here. We'll start the game. Fix the camera, and then we'll see. So let's see, this game we're... Oh. What is going on with Spectator today? Let's see if things fix themselves. It's an interesting glitch, I haven't seen that before. See if we can go past... Looks like it should be loading properly now. We'll see if it freezes again. It looks like we're going well now. So let's look at the comps here. The first game. Oh, actually, we're gonna start with a early invade here. Lee Sin gets a good start. Misfortune will pick up that, or yeah, I guess it is a Lee Sin versus Lee Sin in this game. So Lee Sin does prove his superiority as 3 wards from blue side go down in this bush. They really don't want to lose vision here. Aurora's kind of positioning a bit aggressively in a safe spot here. They're very low here. Looks like Misfortune will end up being the one to die. Aurora will flash, does land the Q, killing Lee Sin, and this is a quite aggressive start to the game. 2 kills for each team. It looks like Lee might pick up the 3rd for blue side here on this Ornn. Yep, Ornn goes down. So that is quite the crazy start here. We're going to see that most of the players this game actually won't even start with Flash, with only Misfortune, Xerath having Flash still up. Returning to the lanes, it looks like both top laners will be a bit delayed, which is fine for Camille, but Ornn may find himself a bit pressured as Cam will reach first. Aurora and Akshan were more normal ones to start here, but Akshan did of course start with less HP. Junglers are kind of starting without much difference from normal. Believe that Goat did start a bit slower as he's still on red buff. And bot side seems pretty straightforward at the moment. So that was quite the crazy start to the game, but it doesn't look like anyone was really able to pick up any items outside of Misfortune from that start. So the gold is not actually going to any early game advantages. Aurora's getting a decent amount of poke here, even proccing electrocute. Akshan is incredibly low here. May have to be a bit more respectful. Cam is of course pretty comfortable in this matchup top lane. Lee Sin finds Aurora a bit aggressively posturing here. Akshan initiates with the ignite. Aurora tries to backstep, proccing her spirit powers. She is kind of just taking them on chase here. She does not have her W, so she has no means of jumping over the wall, and she will fall to Akshan, taking a bit of the Lee Sin's time. Let's see what happens here bot side. Yumi is just going to climb onto Ezreal and walk away. Ham gets a decent trade here top side. Ornn does miss the ram head, but not really the most important thing in the world there. Definitely a very aggressive start to the game. Oh, Misfortune might find a kill here. Yumi's going to have to try to... Nope, was not able to save Ezreal with that shield there. Did very well trying to save. Misfortune might actually pick her up as well, and that is another double kill for Misfortune. Let's see if Xerath is able to protect her from little Ghosty here. It looks like Lee Sin will instead go into River. Misfortune's chasing a bit aggressively here, and it looks like she might lose her life. Lee Sin gets Q once more. It will be I Got You going topside for this. Wow, that was a pretty decent ward jump there, but it will not result in any kills. Aurora's trying to see if she can pick up Xerath, but to no avail. And very combat-heavy start to this game. Akshan is low here, so maybe someone can pick him off as he's trying to push this wave in. It is canon, so he won't be instantly shoving it in. So we'll just have to see who is able to punish him. Actually looks like Aurora and Lee Sin might just push it in themselves. Rotate. Dragon is coming up shortly in the next minute, so there's always that to be cognizant of on the map. Lee Sin is here with Akshan. Akshan is really low though, so I don't think he can do much to help out. No mana and less than a 5th HP. Going to really just want to push this wave in and see if Lee Sin helps him. Looks like Lee Sin is not going to. Instead resorting to returning to the camps, as iGoat is quite a decent bit behind tempo as a jungler, but not too big a deal when little Ghosty's basically been doing the same thing, perma-fighting. Having a bit of a Lee Sin off here. iGoat is in the lead. Let's see if Aurora is able to help out. It looks like Aurora will be able to trade off. The little old ghosty will go down. Zareth will rotate up to help out, but this will make Ezreal and Yuumi 2v1 the Misfortune down here, and that's another kill. Lots of deaths so far. Cam doing a great job of leveraging the Ornn terrain creation through his Q in order to hookshot herself into him. Akshan kind of getting away here with his shield, but that might be a bit too aggressive, as the Aurora Spirit proc will send him to the Spirit Realm. He will have to sit in the gray screen until he resumes. Ornn and Cam just kind of fighting it out a bit cautiously here. Cam is low in mana, is getting CC'd. Ornn's going to take this moment to call down the choo-choo train. Might even pick up Cam here. Misses the Q. See if he's able to close in on her. Cam just needs one hook shot to get away, and it will actually be I Goat You that picks it up with the Lee Sin Q. That's a good leveraging of Ornn's XP advantage in the top side to pick up Camille, who is going to generally be having the easier time in this matchup. Bot lane looks like Misfortune and Zareth will just try to shove this wave in and then take a recall. Take a quick look at what items are out across the teams right now. We do see the Camille with the Tiamat. Aurora is starting the Faded Ashes as she's getting caught out pretty decently well here by Akshan. Akshan is going to try to flash under tower, but of course the tower will save Aurora from the Akshan ult, and Akshan will not be able to pick that up. Might be looking for a tower dive here as Lee Sin is close by, but he has to be a bit careful. And it will be Aurora that picks him back up. Oh, and Ezreal barely survives here after taking out the exhaust from the Xerath. He's going to have to be careful not to get picked off here. The old Ghosty is finding I Goat You in a bit too far to his jungle. Will pick him off. Ezreal reads himself, and that will be Agent Zombie King with the 4th kill of the game. That is a decently far ahead Misfortune, especially into an Ezreal Yuumi lane. It's going to let her really push that lead harder, as Ezreal and Yuumi will not be able to shove waves, and so the lane is going to be almost entirely dictated by what Agent Zombie King and One-Handed Dream choose to do. It's looking like Cam is trying to get a good trade in here, but Ornn's actually going to end up being the one that punishes back better. Cam does get that wave under tower, but not going to be able to do much about it here, as Ornn's having an easy enough time clearing it. And Ornn is about the same in terms of healthiness as the Camille here. Will choose to back. Akshan is trying to pull off maybe something a bit cheeky here. Aurora will immediately stop him in his tracks and get a decent amount of trade back. Misfortune finding Yuumi a bit out of place here. And there's a lot of good poke going from red side bot. Ooh, Cam missing the hook shot. This might be enough to kind of kill her here, as, yep, Misashe is going to be able to take that flash and give a last fist bump to Camille, as Camille will be going to the gray screen now. Akshan is hovering here. See if Ezreal and Yuumi get caught out. They don't have flash, so they have to be a bit careful about positioning. Ezreal actually gets a really nice amount of damage here off on the Misfortune. It will mean it's a 1-for-1. Dareth is getting a bit of poke here with his ult, but Yumi's in a pretty comfortable position. Aurora's looking to punish, but it might be too much poke for her. Does get a really good ult off here, and it will be enough to kill Akshan. Lee Sins will find each other, so we have to be a bit more careful as both the Xerath is available and the Misfortune is coming down to lane. Yuumi really doesn't want to get kicked here, as that could be pretty bad. Oop, looks like the old Ghosty is a bit too out of position here. We'll have to ward hop over the wall. Both Lee Sins are extraordinarily aggressive this game. Misfortune will hover here. Looks like I Goat You is not going to end up falling. an incredibly... Oh my gosh, Yumi gets the snipe with her Q. Goat will fall down here. Ezreal is picking up this mid wave here, but Akshan might be a bit too strong. And Ezreal is taking quite a lot of damage. Will fall to the Ignite and Akshan ult. Yumi's trying to defend this ward here, but it's not to much avail as Misfortune is barely caring about her auto attacks. See Camille randomly in mid here, taking the timer from pushing in top wave to maybe pressure this Akshan, but he's pretty safely under turret here. Actually, I guess not. Aurora does get a huge amount of chunk on him, and Akshan's going to have to be really careful here. Lee Sin will help him out with this wave, but Akshan should look to leave as soon as possible. Ornn has been getting really good combos off of Cam this game. Let's see if Ponyo is able to turn it around, and it will be little old Ghosty one-shotting Goatyu in the jungle. Ooh, nice Hextech ultimatum out of Camille. Will be used to dodge the Ornn Horn. Ornn will still be the one in the healthier position here with more mana and HP. We'll have to see if Cam's able to use her shield to maybe make up for that. Ezreal's a bit aggressive here as Xerath gets a full combo off. Yumi doing a phenomenal job of mitigating the damage. Misfortune face tanking Ezreal will live 1 HP. Unfortunately does fall to the Yumi. Akshan picks off little Ghosty at pit. Aurora picks him back off, and it looks like Xerath might get Yumi here. That is a curious flash, but I guess it still works out. And Aurora does pick up that dragon. We have 29 deaths so far, and it's only 12 minutes in the game. Never mind, it's 30. We reached our 30 kill mark for 12 minutes. This is an absurdly devastating game, as both teams are constantly playing Gray Screen Simulator. We're seeing first items coming out of Lee Sin and Aurora. Aurora is incredibly well to do this game with 7 kills and only 1 death of the 30 so far. We'll have to see if she's able to use that advantage thus far to really make changes on the map. She has been going bot side, so we can definitely see that she's able to at least mitigate some of the losses that the Ezreal and Yumi had early game, as Misfortune racked up quite a few of the kills. Lee Sin will get a cancel on the Akshan rope, but it will not be enough as Akshan kind of just walks out of that confrontation. Looks like all players this game are just really trying to do as much as possible to kill each other. You can take a look at CS to see that outside of Ezreal, Aurora in the top lane, CSing is pretty poor across the board. Camille will miss the hook shot. Lee Sin will make up for it by sending him back into the Camille, and Ornn will not be able to pick him back up. Ezreal is going for the aggressive play here, but unfortunately not able to hit his shots, as the Misfortune Xerath ult combo will probably take the rune for the bot lane. Lee Sins have met each other. Unfortunately, the Eclipse from the old Ghosty was not enough to mitigate the damage from Goat, but Ponyo is here to make up for that. Yumi's getting chased down quite aggressively by Akshan here. The Ignite comes out, and the Flash as well, and it looks like it might be a 1-for-1. No, actually. Yumi gets away with a steal here with Akshan tower diving the T2 tower and not being able to kill her. There's quite a big advantage in terms of item power by the little old Ghosty Lee Sin over Goatyu's at the moment, as the old Ghosty has been sitting on Eclipse here for a while, and Goat has yet to have reached his first item spike. He is kind of juggling items at the moment with the Tiamat, not building particularly into anything at the moment, but we'll have to see when he ends up getting that first item. But neither jungler has been really focusing on farming this game. We're closing in on 15 minutes, and they're both at 60 farm. under 5 CS per minute. Definitely an interesting playstyle we've been seeing this game by both teams. Lots of very aggressive, very HP for HP trades here. No one's particularly playing cautiously, as everyone's looking for the kill. Horn does a great job here of not getting CC'd by the hookshot, instead buffering it with his W. We can definitely see Little Old Ghosty's item advantage coming out here as he just absolutely dominates Go. Ezreal does get the Pulse Fiber, the barrage out, ending up killing Agent Zombie King. Akshan might be able to pick him up, but Yuumi is of course here to help out. Xerath ult is coming through, and it will be Akshan that falls. Aurora teleports in, but might not be able to touch Xerath on the tower, as Ornn and Cam are duking it out topside. Looks like Cam might be at the point where she's having an easier time in this lane. He has Ravenous Hydra, so she can dish out quite a bit of damage as well as take it in return. And that's an interesting, laggy, glitchy interaction, as Cam will end up felling Nasashe under tower. The old Ghosty is decimating Lee Sin here, as Ponyo will pick up the kill. That is a 8 death Lee Sin on red side this game. Definitely not doing the hottest, but he always has the opportunity to get back in the game. It's only a matter of 6k gold at 16 minutes. There have been worse games that people have come back from. And it looks like MF might fall here. Instead, the heal and flash combo will save her. Cam is caught in between two people here. MF's a bit low HP. Cam does not end up going on her. Actually gets stopped by Akshan and will be MF picking up that shutdown. The bot side of red is definitely the stronger side, as we can see Aurora absolutely decimating. Never mind. I guess the mid lane advantage from blue is definitely not something to be ignored, as that is Aurora's ninth kill pickup here at 2 full items, whereas Akshan doesn't have his first item even yet, which is definitely a very strong advantage for blue side here, as they've really secured quite the lead through this chaotic early game. It's going to be the second dragon coming for, or being claimed by blue side. You'll have to see how Goat and the rest of his team are going to plan on recovering this game. Akshan's maybe a bit caught out here. It will be Aurora getting stunned by Xerath. Bit of a poor play there from the old Ghosty. Does not get the kick he wants. Ornn might go down here, will end up being saved, and Misfortune will pick up Cam in return. Xerath getting a bit of poke here, but unsure as to whether that will lead to much. Blue side is a bit desperate for this tower here, might be overexerting themselves. However, everyone is low, so whoever plays better in this situation will be the one that wins out. Akshan has a decently good angle here. It will be Misfortune that ends up baiting a bit too hard. Aurora and Ezreal in a pretty fine spot. Aurora dodging the Ornn, but not enough to get out of the way of his W. Ezreal does not phase shift the Lee Sin Q correctly and will be dragging him. However, the Ezreal is very strong, as can be seen, and with the Yuumi, he is able to just absolutely destroy the Lee Sin and Ornn here. No comeback possible. We are now nearing a 7k gold lead after that tower is down. This is basically spelling doom at this rate for red side here. Take a look at the game, where Yuumi and Ezreal are both at 2 items, joining Aurora in that fashion. Cam is at 1.5 items, as well as Lee Sin, whereas the people with gold on the side of red side here, with Goat's team, is going to be really just the Ornn from his farming, it seems. So we'll have to see exactly how that plays out in their favor. He's not quite at the level for getting his ornaments. Cam will be able to dodge Goat here, evading any confrontation. Akshan also is seeming not to overextend, instead just meeting Cam in the wave. He's still out of vision, will be seen. Misfortune getting a bit of a slow here. Cam almost played that aggressively, instead opting into leaving, as Misfortune has been shown. Ponyo does have a little ghosty here. Might be able to punish the two ADCs here. Ezreal is absolutely destroying Goat here. He's doing very well for himself, as he has Last Whisper attached to that Muramana and Trinity Force. Blue side's going to pick up this red buff here. Cam is spotted by the Misfortune, takes a bit of poke damage, but shouldn't be more than a wave's worth of heal from Ravenous Hydra. Misfortune will release her ult to save the tower. Might not be enough. We'll have to see exactly how things play out here. Cam absolutely destroys her. Akshan trying to pick off blue side here, but Yuumi is a bit too much to deal with. Cam will be, however, out of position and unfortunately unable to claim a shield. Ezreal will flash forward to claim Akshan in return. Lee Sin gets a good kick that sends Ezreal under tower. However, Yuumi will actually be the one to tank the tower aggro here with her ult, it seems. Unfortunately, that will be the result of her death. Ornn might be able to pick up Ghosty here. Ghosty will try to get to safety, and no, he will fall, but Ornn's just a matter of time before being felled by Ezreal in return. An absolutely chaotic game here, nearing on 60 deaths at 21 minutes. Absolutely just mayhem. We'll have to see exactly how blue side is closing this out. Of course, it's not the most difficult thing in the world with the amount of pressure they've been exerting thus far. Aurora is in good position for when this drag respawns. The old Ghosty should be able to make it in time as well. We'll have to see if blue side ends up getting one shot by our new bunny girl, and if not, they might be able to take the dragon by catching her off guard. She will instead choose to back after claiming the blue buff, so I think Misfortune's a bit late here, and it seems that blue side will try to just kind of make it in time for this dragon spawn and claim their third Drake of the game, really not giving many opportunities for red side to get back into the game. He'll be claiming the empowered Scuttle Crab here, getting a bit of vision in the surrounding area, I believe. Unless it's not empowered yet, and that's just my bad. They are making quick work of this dragon. Will be the third to fall here. Blue side have been absolutely dominating in terms of objectives. Aurora is going to make use of her invisibility to gap close on this Misfortune. Gets the ult off, and Misfortune really has no counterplay as she's stuck in the sphere of death. Akshan returns under tower. Dareth's doing his best to poke him out and clear the wave, but the Yuumi is doing quite a decent job this game at really helping blue side survive this poke. Dareth will be continuing to do his best as Ezreal absolutely tries to tear through this tower. Does require a wave to continue doing so. Lee Sin, little Ghosty, picks up a decent start to a fight, but he finds himself a bit caught out. Wasn't able to return anyone into a favorable position, and it's actually going to be blue side losing. Ooh, never mind. Cam with the giant damage. Ezreal picking up Akshan. Ornn's probably going to take Camille down here. Will use the horn, maybe in an attempt to keep himself alive, but it will not be the case as they fall down instead. Ezreal attempts to pick off the Xerath and Misfortune here. They are both left really low. It's going to get absolutely deleted as Ezreal shifts in front of her. Its cannon might be alive just long enough to take the tower, and it is. There's going to be two towers, two T3 towers falling. Aurora is going to kind of very easily claim the Xerath here. Or, yeah, no, never mind. Xerath will actually barely live with 1 HP and get the kill in return, as Aurora did not really follow up that very well. Akshan's trying to spin to win, but in fact he cannot spin to win. Will be Ezreal winning instead. This is a 12.5k gold lead here. Very difficult to do much in this game. That's a 14 kill advantage. Ezreal does have 3 completed items, and Yuumi is doing a phenomenal job of keeping him alive in these engagements. They're going to take a back here. I would not be surprised if Ezreal once again returns with an additional item. Red side has been really on the defensive here. They've played very aggro this game, but have not been able to secure almost any objectives. They've just been on the losing side of the ends of all these fights, even if they trade a decent amount of the time. Akshan will try to pick up the Lee Sin here, but Lee Sin is decently tanky. Akshan going into stealth, seeing if he can maybe make an attempt on Lee Sin. Will be spotted out. Lee Sin goes in here with the Cam. Cam does get the Akshan. Akshan will manage to live here. Aurora will be the one that picks him up. Ornn is getting in a funky spot here as he's put in between the Cam wall. However, Aurora will get out there instead. Lee Sin is being a bit too aggro here. Can still very easily get punished by Aurora. He'll instead play for the Vision. Blue side is going to be coming back up alive here, and they will be rotating back into this fight. Going to be a bit of downtime as that happens. Aurora might try to pick up some jungle camps here. In terms of items, we can see the Shojin getting picked up on Ezreal here. He is massively strong. Aurora herself on 3.5 items, and just across the board, very little chances are left for red side to get back into this game. Akshan is using the spin to win technique, trying to just clear the wave, but it will be blue side instead opting into this Baron Nashor rather than continuing the push. Probably could have opted into this quite a while ago, but it's never been something that they've thought to do, instead opting into a lot of these fights we've been seeing. They're peaking a 13k gold lead here, and it's just a matter of time before they end up winning here. We've got double-digit deaths across the jungle, mid, and bot lane from red side here. There's been so many deaths. Looks like Cam will be TPing onto the Akshan, trying to pick him off on the side lane. Doing tons of damage here. Will back out once Lee Sin is spotted, maybe going back in, and she will be able to pick up this Akshan as the rest of blue side is going to try to kind of push into the space as Lee Sin is actually falling to Camille, even though Cam's with a very low HP here. Blue side is just going to kind of push this last wave in here. Don't really need much more to end this game. Just going to be taking this tower in front of them. Cam is incredibly tanky. Going to start this fight off. The MF ult will not be able to achieve much as Ezreal immediately takes her down in return. And Ornn is not nearly tanky enough to make any difference in this game. And that is probably going to be the Nexus falling right here. Blue side ends the game with 18k and 16k gold lead. We will be going into Game 2 shortly as Ponyo's team has taken the lead. Welcome back everyone, we have quite an interesting game here, as we have a Ghost, Ignite, Nunu, mid first. Not too sure if it's... yeah, it's going to be mid. It's going to be Ornn from Nasashe again. It's going to be against Ponyo's Fiora, and Red side has been very aggro with the starts this game, but they will be meeting here. In the bot side, Blitzcrank does pull Ornn over. Nunu comes in with the flank. Thresh gets a decent pull out, but they're a bit outnumbered here, blue side. They're trying to clean up on Yone, but instead it will be the Ornn falling. Thresh is also not in a great spot here, and Ponyo is picking up 2 kills to start this game. This is a kind of a poor repeat of what happened last game. Goat's gonna have a tough time dealing with this again. It's going to be both the top and the support falling, giving a kill to the ADC and the jungler, or the jungler and the mid laner. It's going to be not the worst in the world. Of course, Zac isn't going to be the biggest threat off one kill. And Yone just decided to pick up boots here, assuming that, if my recollection, or if my memory serves me correct, he was the one who got the second kill, so only got 300 gold and not the 400. Looks like it's going to be pretty standard fighting for most of these lanes here. Fiora is going to be, of course, aiming for those vitals on Ornn. Ornn's going to be aiming for the grass procs back. The Nunu is going to obviously be playing very interestingly, because that is what a Nunu does, especially with Ghost Ignite. Barrier coming up from Varus, and it will be Red Sign returning on the Caitlyn, and this is just catastrophic start for our Goat's team here. That's just not going to be easy to come back from. Nunu's only level 2 here. Yone is pushed in, might get caught out. We'll see Fiora going quite low to the Ornn. Nunu is fortunately able to just press one button on a minion, cover a decent chunk of HP. Fiora and Ornn are still going to be duking it out just like they were last game with the Camille pick. See if Ponyo is going to have a bit more success in the early game with this Fiora pick relative to the Cam last game. And getting a decent amount of trades off here. They're both very low HP, and this time Ponyo's the one that's keeping up the mana lead, or at least somewhat. Nunu's kind of being kept in lane here as Yone is pushing in the wave. Definitely going to be looking to take as many roaming opportunities as possible, but might be difficult if the tower is getting pushed in constantly. You can see the classic Nunu snowball into lane. However, it would probably have been better used just on securing the wave here, as Yone is doing decently fine. Zac finds the Lee Sin here. It's in a bit of a rough spot, but Fiora will... Oh, yep. Fiora and Yone will be able to help him out, and it will be Goat falling here, as well as Ghosty claiming that Scuttle Crab. So this might be just a moment of first game tilting into the second game, because this is a rough start. We're at 2k gold lead at 4 minutes. We're gonna have to see just exactly where this money gets spent, as people are going to start backing, but it's going to be extraordinarily rough for Blue Side to recover, especially given that both Fiora and Yone are going to be really good in late game in terms of damage, and the setup of the Zac, Varus, and Blitzcrank will always be something to be reckoned with, and Nunu, being a cheese champ, is really suffering being behind early. As people are starting to take their first backs, we can see that Nunu is opting into a very curious Darkseal start. Fiora and Ornn are actually pretty low here, but seems that nothing much will happen. Besides that, it seems that Zac will be going AP. Runic also has finished picking up the Zerker Greaves on Yone. Looks like Ponyo might actually die here, as the Nunu does claim the kill. However, bot lane might be traded back. Bit aggressive on the Blitzcrank here. Does completely whiff his Q. Wrong side of the screen there, and Caitlyn's able to dodge the arrow. Let's see if Goat is able to cover here. Instead, it looks like Bluish might try to just claim this kill, and it will be Zac's Alternator off of his arm thrust there that will claim the Caitlyn. So he might be fighting off a bit more than he can chew here, though. Thresh will miss the Flay. However, Zac has plenty of blobs to pick up. Blitzcrank is going to try to prevent Lee Sin from finishing him off. Zac's jumping in, and the Flay does save his life. And oh, never mind. It's going to be a trade between Blitzcrank getting Goat and Goat getting Ghosty. Again, quite a aggressive start to this game here. 6 minutes, 10 kills. Surprisingly enough, Nunu is only at 7 or 15 CS behind the Yone. Not doing half bad for the amount of nonsense going on. Will be low on mana here and might not want to posture too aggressively with the Yone, instead opting to probably just trying to push the wave in and back. Zac will be taking the moment to secure grubs. Does have prio both in top and mid lane. Fiora has been doing a great job of keeping this Ornn pushed in, just like in the first game on Cam. Won't be able to repost that ram there, but it won't be too big a deal. All she really cares about is staying alive. Does get the stun off, but Zac spots Lee Sin and the Nunu here, gives Ornn a bit of a chance to go in. Will claim Ponyo, as we do see the GOAT Lee Sin falling to the Yone R. Zac is going to be cleaning up his jungle, getting a ton of HP back from the blobs and from the camps. Varus is playing a bit safe here as Blitzcrank is not in his lane. He is at a point where he can be threatened for a kill. So blue side will just take the opportunity to push in. They have top and bot pushing in. Fortunately, the Nunu has not been able to secure too much pressure this game, mostly operating at a loss in the ganks they've been performing. We'll have to see who chooses to claim this dragon here. Of course, Hextech is a decently strong dragon to pick up, offering both attack speed and haste. Yone and Zac are in a very comfortable position thus far this game, having 5 of the 12 kills between the both of them. Ornn's here trying to punish the Fiora claiming tower plates. Won't be able to do too much as Fiora's just going to dash out of there. Blitzcrank with a phenomenal hook, and that is an amazing amount of chain CC between the Blitzcrank interrupt. Or I guess Blitzcrank didn't even have to use his ult, he just knocked up, and then that gave away for Chains of Corruption here from the Varus. Varus CC is definitely something that can lead to a lot of kills. Blitzcrank hook will fail to hit Agent Zombie King here. Nunu might look to maybe punish the Yone a bit deep under tower here. Low on the mana, however, does instantly proc the ult. I do not think that was intentional. It's going to be a Nunu without mana, without HP, and without an ultimate, so going to have to respect the Yone now. Yone has been trying to wager his W shield in attempts to tower dive the Nunu. However, Nunu does have GOAT behind her, so Ornn and Fiora just doing the same old, same old. Zac will actually be catching out Lee Sin here in the jungle. Zac is decently strong relative to this Lee Sin so far, having almost 50% more CS. We'll be looking to tower dive the Kate here. Unfortunately, the Zac ult does not play in the favor of Bluish's arrow, as Caitlyn seemingly gets knocked out of the way. Not to fret, Zac will be able to clean up the kill. Yone is taking actually a decent amount of damage here in this trade. Nunu, of course, when going AP is going to be strong, even if the snowball does not hit. Here we see at 10 minutes, the dragon is finally being contested. Lee Sin is over the wall. However, both Varus and Zac are probably going to be able to do a decent amount. Chains of Corruption lands, followed up by the Zac. That's going to be GOAT falling. And it's just going to be a lot of trading overall from the mid and top lane. Thresh sniping little old Ghosty. This is a kind of an awkward moment. And let's see who claims the dragon here. And it will be Varus that ends up getting it anyways, so blue side wasn't able to recover all that much. Yone cleans up Caitlyn here. That was a good attempt by Thresh to kind of turn around that situation, but unfortunately they weren't able to steal that dragon. Thresh is going to seemingly try to use Blitzcrank to get closer to the tower, but unfortunately it just lines up so that Blitzcrank has an easier time dragging him in. Varus Arrow will claim that kill bot side. Ornn seems to really be in the same stuck position both first game and this game here, just constantly being pushed by the Tiamat Bruiser. Nunu is maybe gonna claim a kill here, but will instead tank 2 tower shots, kind of disrupting the potential there. Take a quick look at what items have been purchased so far, as Nunu is probably just gonna fall here to the alternators, or the Storm Surge Zac. 1 smite and that's all it took. We see Bork on both Ione and Varus to start, pretty decently strong item. Ornn is probably going to pick up the Yora here. Yora's not too careful. Luckily for her, the Ornn does not have the mana to really make much of a move there. Second he receives enough for his ult, she is as good as dead most likely, but probably will not be able to do so without risking his own life. Does have TP, so maybe just in his best interest to back here and try another day. In terms of blue side, not one player outside of Thresh has claimed an item. That Thresh's item is definitely a result of that cleanup on the Zac in the Dragon Pit. X-Craze is making a good movement here topside and will clean up the Ornn. And this is a rough place to be if you're blue side. You're 6k down at 12 minutes. Zac is going to probably find, yep, and that's the ward down. Going to go in. And it will be an easy cleanup on Goat. Goat is at 6 deaths, not having a fun game whatsoever, as he's been absolutely punished by Zac and the rest of red side whenever he tries to make an attempt here. Blitzcrank has also been making quite a few good plays himself, getting a lot of decent hooks off, kind of enabling a lot of the team. Definitely a much calmer game overall, though, than we've seen last game. There is a more solidified lead, however, a lot less deaths overall. Seems that it's still going to be quite a while before we see more items come out from the blue side, as they've been decently stuck in lanes in poor positions. Lots of CS advantages for red side so far this game. Yora will tank quite a few tower shots here. Will be able to kind of flash out of the targeting of the tower at the last shot there, but not necessarily the most favorable position to be in. Ornn's been doing a good job of really trying to minimize losses with Ponyo's aggressive plays. Looks like that bot side will be a target here between Zac and Lee Sin. Nunu is in the bush, might be able to make a game-changing play, but Ione has a nasty flank. We'll have to see how this goes out. It will be Zac who falls first. He will turn into his blobs. Bluish does not have his ult here. Instead we'll see Ornn falling to the Blitzcrank. This is a very interesting yeah, I don't know what to say about this. I don't think Blitzcrank even wins anymore. This was an interesting choice. That's the Zac spike, Realm Spike on the Blitzcrank, which is equally curious. It will be the Jack Nunu taking down Runic here for a nice amount of bounty gold. Blitzcrank really does not have the damage. He's, however, doing a decent enough job of keeping the Ornn off the wave. This is a very wacky series of events here topside. Nunu re-engages the Varus, flayed back into the wave by Thresh. The barrier comes out. We'll have to see if he's able to do much, and instead he's just going to auto that control ward. No avail, unfortunately for him. Zac catches out Lee Sin, and my golly, that is a lot of damage as he just one-shots Lee Sin, thanks to the Sork shoes, the Alternator, and the Storm Surge. The gap here in jungle is rather evident. Have to hope that the Ornn and laners, the Nunu with the cheesing and the decently mitigating losses, but however not doing the craziest, bot lane are able to kind of reel it in a bit. Will be Rift Herald falling for red side. Ione kind of threatening this Caitlyn, but won't be able to do too much. Of course, Caitlyn has a lot of range and her own back jump to disengage from confrontations. And we'll find the control word here. A lot of posturing in this top jungle here as Blitzcrank finds the Ornn. Kind of baiting out here the Nunu. Nunu will get the snowball still. And a rather decent looking ult, but it will not actually translate to anything. Ornn is getting dragged everywhere. And it will be him falling. Varus will get picked up. Locket's used only on the Thresh here instead of earlier in the fight. See if Zack's able to pick him up, and it looks like he probably will with the help of Blitzcrank. Very interesting course of affairs this game. The gold advantage has gone close to 8k at this point, 7 to 8k. See, Zack is 9 kills here, whereas it's the Thresh with all of Goat's team's kills, which is not what you want to see. Good snowball here by Nunu, and it will be the Yon's death. Yon was not able to take that tower in time and ended up tanking quite a bit, and Nunu does have a lot of innate damage. Lee Sin will also catch Zack at very low HP here. Might be able to convert this into a dragon take. Looks like instead they're going to opt into taking a couple camps as Nunu and Kate maybe set up a bit more vision. Ornn is mid, so they definitely have their team here to fight this. They will start it, however, red side will have an idea of where they are. Blitzcrank gets caught out, does not hit the hook. They'll try to kill Nunu here. Nunu gets the alt shield off. Varus is, both Varus and Caitlyn are kind of in wacky positions here. It looks like this fight will start in the side of blue, but that is a nasty Yoneon, as the rest of them will fall, and that's 3 kills there for red team. 4 including the Nunu earlier. That's going to be an easy pickup for that second dragon for red side. Going to be an 18-minute second dragon, so definitely a bit slower on the dragon taking this game, but they are 10 kills up, 8k gold, 7 to 8k gold. Not in the worst shape at all. Ponyo might fall here. Ornn does cancel an auto. Will not matter, however, as he does end up picking up that kill there. He has the ornament Thornmail. But besides that, the rest of everyone on blue side is only at 1 item, whereas we're seeing 2 items from both the ADC and mid. X-Craze being a bit crazy himself, picking up full AP Blitzcrank this game. Makes the Realm Spike a bit more sensical. However, fortunately his Q kind of works in against his favor, as he almost always knocks them out of the proc. Varus will be able to join here. Nunu's probably not going to be able to do too much. Zack ult comes out. Nunu gets her ult cancelled almost immediately. Thresh will get a hit on the Zack, not that it matters much as he does have his respawn. The exhaust kind of making it a bit difficult for the Yone to pick up these kills, but Kate is just not in the position they want to be. It is 1952 on the time score, so they definitely have the ability to take a Baron here, whether they choose to push or to extend advantages into the jungle or whatever it may be. We'll have to see what red side decides, but definitely an opportunity to have taken, or at least forced another fight at Baron here. They are still significantly ahead. Lee Sin will find the Zack. Don't know necessarily if the 3 levels down Lee Sin wants to find the Zack. Theirs is here. Does have the Chains of Corruption available. They are playing it moderately cautious. Nunu will find the Zack. However, Nunu will be stopped in her tracks. Varus cleans up Nunu. Fiora will be able to seemingly 1v2 the Lee Sin and Thresh here. Thresh will find refuge under the tower. Ornn tries to clean up the Fiora. Fiora is probably just going to dash over pretty safely. That's a very awkward moment for Blitzcrank to have hooked Ornn in. Ornn's probably actually going to claim the kill here as a result. That's pretty unfortunate. Varus is also outnumbered here, so he's probably not going to be too aggressive. Might pick up the Thresh, who has committed a bit too much here, though. Nope, never mind. The Locket Shield will save him. Blitzcrank is also pretty fortunate to get away here. Yone is definitely going to be able to secure the kill onto Thresh. Actually, no, it's going to be Blitzcrank kind of taking that. Very, very aggressive game so far. Definitely does not look like it'll be too easy for blue side to make any sort of recovery. But Varus will get caught here. Let's see if Yone's able to recover from this position. That massive E second proc damage will kill the Nunu. Ornn probably actually has a chance here. The Yone has to definitely be careful. Fiora coming in to be a bit more protection for the Yone. She will actually fall here to the Caitlyn. Ornn did get ulted, selected to duel, but was not able to accomplish, or Fiora was not able to accomplish anything further. Zac aggressively flashing in, but unable to make much with his ult. 1 W though is all it takes to clean up that Lee Sin. This is a deadly, deadly Zac we can see here. Take another look at items thus far. He's got the Shadow Flame, 12 kills. Nunu will probably actually pick him up in return, however. Another shutdown claimed by Nunu, and Blitzcrank are running away with barely any hit points. 3 items for the Yone here, as he's picked up Shield Bow and Infinity Edge. Nunu's getting close to that Rabadon's, however, already have been Flame Horizoned by Yone, so definitely a lot of income behind there. Top side, we do see a lot of armor for the Ornn, getting that Sunfire and Thorn Mail. Definitely will need to start taking into consideration, as we can see through the Megatron Cloak, the damage of the Zac this game as well. Maybe even the Blitzcrank can be taken into consideration. Caitlyn is still only at 1 item here, so a lot of damage lacking for blue side. Yone is going to make it easy work. Lee Sin's a bit caught out here. Will hop over the wall. A bit safer under the tower here. Will have his comrades joining in. I'm surprised to see that we haven't had more Baron attempts this game. Past 3 minutes, Red has had a lot of advantages that they could have used to take Baron. Nunu will miss the snowball here and get absolutely deleted. They'll have to see if blue side actually ends up getting cleaned up here. Chains of Corruption does go wide, and unfortunately it's not. The Varus's auto attacks over the wall is not going to be able to do much to the 2 tanks here under this tower. Instead, Zac and Yone will be cleaning up the dragon here. A bit of an ego flash from Bluish. Fiora is going to be kind of just tanking the wave in the front of this Caitlyn here. The Ravenous Hydra definitely making it easy. Blitzcrank trying to create an opportunity for Varus to take the tower, but it won't be enough. Thresh Hook does not land. That was a hook of all time. Red side is putting a lot of pressure here. Bot. Thresh Flay will come out. Looks like Zac might fall here, but his team will be able to at least secure him after he goes into his 4 groups. Won't actually happen, as Thresh will be the one to fall. Your 1v2s, Caitlyn and Lee Sin top with that challenge. Definitely shows the extreme advantage Red side has with their 15k gold lead. They might even just be able to wrap up the game very shortly here. They'll be picking up their 2nd inhibitor. Ornn cleans up X-Grays. However, the Blitzcrank is not necessarily a primary target here. That's the 2nd inhibitor at 25 minutes for Red side. And I suppose you could say that Blue did a bit better this game. They managed to take 1 tower over the 0 last game. Ponyo's team is doing quite well for themselves here. Varus is playing a bit there, kind of giving away a shutdown. Or I suppose that wasn't even a shutdown, he must have died in recent succession. Yone getting a bit of poke damage here. Fiora one-shotting Lee Sin. Yone will catch the Nunu. Nunu ult might... Nope, never mind. The Shield Bow will absolutely tank everything of that Nunu's damage. Yorick does get exhausted here. Let's see if the Thresh and Caitlyn are able to return, and it does look like the Fiora will fall. Ponyo's team has not at all been too keen on taking the Baron during their timers, instead opting into lots and lots of fighting, as we have what looks like to be 72 kills at 26 minutes. Ornn's going to try to return some damage here, but I highly doubt he's able to do much more than just poke, as Yone will clean him up. It's definitely been a game today for Goat's team, not having the easiest of times. Take another look at items, as Yone is his 4th. Zach's picked up a Rabadons in addition to his 2 flat pen items. Seems that Varus is also 3 items here, as well as Blitzcrank. Lots and lots of damage on the red side, whereas the items, the poor Goat, man, he's only got the Eclipse, he's not even on his 2nd item. Very difficult. Just have to see exactly how this game wraps up. Varus is seriously solo tanking Baron here. Probably will just fall instead. Definitely doing a bit of for-funning this game. Fiora gets a nice repost off of the snowball. Yone another massive engage here, getting 3 people with his Q3. Zach kind of going wide here, but he will be able to get back into the fight with his Q. Misses the Ornn as he flashes out of it, instead hitting a minion with the 2nd Q. And this kind of looks like it might just be game for Goat's team here, as it's just Ornn and a whole lot of fed champs on the side of Ponyo's team. That's going to be Nexus falling. This is very unfortunate. 2 games here from Goat. It looks like we will be going into the 3rd Worlds Mimic game, so we'll have to see exactly what team comps we see and which game we will be revisiting from the past. And I will see you all in the 3rd game. And we are back with Game 3. It does appear that there have been some switch-ups, and rather than mimicking a Worlds game, they've instead opted into doing just a normal draft with bands game for game number 3. So, you have to... They do not learn, do they, with these early starts. I swear to God, they, time after time, fight at level 1. It's going to be 1 kill for blue side, 1 kill return for red. Corki's getting pretty low here, but Zach does have a pull on him. Will not be able to get him pulled in. Zach will not fall down here. Misfortune instead will. Zach is probably actually going to fall here, as Cho'Gath does keep him there. Xerath's going to try to protect him, but the damage from the Aurora and the Cho'Gath will be too much. Lee Sin does return. Janna will be able to at least moderately protect the Cho'Gath. And he will be able to just probably back here and then teleport to lane, is what I'd presume. What a ridiculous start. 3 games in a row, and neither of these teams refuse to play a 5-point sequence, instead always opting into these wild 5v5s through that bot bush. And who would have guessed? It turns out that Ponyo's team does take another lead to start this game. Quickly take a look at the scoreboard. Corki's going to start with a tier, and the Cho'Gath is going to start with a rejuvenation bead, where meanwhile we see a ruby crystal on the Zac top. Zac is of course going to have a decently fine time sustaining. I don't think Cho'Gath is going to be able to apply too much pressure. Corki and Janna are doing a phenomenal job poking out the Xerath here. Corki will flash in and claim that kill. Misfortune might be in trouble herself. Maybe she'll be able to pick up level 2 here. She really has to be careful. Gets the flash off. The level up from Janna will cause her to live as she picks up Agent Zombie King here. Kassadin's fighting into Yone here. Probably doesn't want to be too aggressive early game, but he does have an advantage in terms of HP at the moment. What a nutty start once more, as Game 3 at 3 minutes has already started with 6 kills, 5 of which on red side here. We'll have to see exactly how Goat's team has any idea of trying to make a recovery from their first 2 losses as well. Cho'Gath nearly evades death here. That caster minion very possibly could have taken him down. Instead, he will not fall. Cleans up a couple minions, getting a bit more of that HP and mana back from his passive. Does help the help of Aurora here. He will posture a bit more aggressively. Meanwhile, Lee Sin will be taking Scuttle. Of course, Zac has an easy time just escaping here. Now it'll be Kassadin that's in a sketchy situation. And yeah, Kassadin's pretty chunked out here. Will be forced to recall at the very least. Lee Sin not able to do much follow-up. This is definitely a poor start for blue side here. They're going to have to do a lot to kind of recover this game. They do have some options. Of course, Yone is going to be stronger than Kassadin up until about level 11, I'd have to say. Especially if Kassadin is getting pressured by Lee Sin. Of course, that's a double AD mid jungle, so he won't be able to make much use of his innate magic damage resist. Lee Sin will find Janna here. Xerath getting a good slow as well, and she will fall. Corki has to be a bit careful here. MF is doing a decent amount of damage. Definitely very aggressive, and it will be the barrier baiting Lee Sin here. Xerath unable to make contact with his Q, and Corki's in a really happy spot. We'll have to be a bit careful here, as it's been taken a bit down. MF is also down. Janna catches this Xerath off guard. Corki is going to be able to pick up here. And never mind, Xerath will catch X-Craze off. And that'll be probably a 1-for-1, as top lane, Zac is going to be repeat ganked by little old Ghosty on the Aurora. And bot side, Janna actually does end up cleaning that Xerath. Misfortune will start running her down. The Scuttle will probably spell doom here. Yep. Looks like the Yone will just get a couple slaps in for that assist. And it's going to be a somewhat nice retrieval of resources after that pretty rough start. They are still decently far behind. Yone, of course, at 0 kills, but also 0 deaths, where the rest of his team is sitting at a consistent 1-2. Corki is miles ahead in terms of CS here, with that almost double CSing here. And it looks like, oh my gosh, that was very close. Runic almost fell to that pullback damage. He will have to once again back, and this is what I was mentioning earlier with Yone having the ability to kind of punish the Kassadin pick here. It's probably going to be another game where the top side is generally even. Definitely looks like Nessashe is having an easier time getting the push versus the Cho'Gath. Zac is trying to kind of go all out here. Cho'Gath might opt into trying to just exit. Does still have that flash. So, ooh, that might be actually Cho'Gath dying. Nope, he will be able to use that flash. He's very aggressive here. I don't know if that was the right play, as Ponyo will go down. Xerath is getting a lot of good poke here. Now that he also has his rockets, he can do a lot more frequent poking. That Sheen will also be able to proc very consistently, as his abilities will all be on short rotation. Valkyrie goes in. Will get a lot of poke out, heal coming out. And it looks like that blue side's bot lane is just going to be very low HP as they're getting pushed in here. This does give red side a perfect opportunity to take this dragon, if they so choose. Instead, they will opt into this tower dive here, bot side. They will be able to repeat dive pretty easily. I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh, never mind. It does appear that X-Craze is able to take both of those kills, which is very good. This Corki is decently strong, even after, I believe, some of the nerfs have gone through. Runic is getting decent amounts of punishment picking that Kassadin in this game. There's Only really 2 threats, AP threats this game, and they're not his lane, so definitely something to take consideration of. Zac will not catch that recall in time, putting that ward down slightly late. Goat's team will definitely want to make use of this Yone's advantage here best as possible in order to make their way make a recovery into this game. Neither team seems to be posturing much at the moment for this dragon, as Goat is opting into clearing his top side, even though he does have both mid and bot push at this moment. Definitely was an opportunity he could have taken. Corki's actually going to go in here and immediately take out half of MF's HP. Xerath will fall just to the auto attacks. We will see Kassadin nearly fall, but it won't be enough. Flash coming up from Corki. Kassadin gets to level up a bit more HP. Yone might try to be a bit aggressive here. Will succeed, actually, and the tower will not be able to cover it back. Aurora is looking topside here. Maybe MF catches this Janna out bot side here. Lots going on. Zac is trapped now. Aurora is bouncing back and forth, but not to much avail. Misses her bounce back as well. Fortunately for her, she just needs to land autos, which are impossible to miss to get that proc off. Going to be a bit difficult if she gets picked off here. Cho'Gath is doing a good job of trying to slow down that Zac as much as possible, but they really need to detonate him right now. He will pop into his 4 bloblings. And now it's a race against the clock. Of course they are... Oh! It looks like he actually managed to just barely make it out. Will trade 1 for 1 there. Definitely not what you're looking for. And we're seeing a under 10-minute tower take from the bot side here. Let's take a look at Corki's items. He does have that Trinity Force. He's up 40 CS and about probably 2 to 3k gold here. Highly advantageous for Ponyo's team. Keep continuing on through this bot side. Definitely wouldn't be a half bad idea for Aurora to try to take this dragon as well while they have so much bot side power. Cho'Gath's just trying to get this wave in. He might die here though, he's not doing it too quickly, and Zac is able to clear his wave in return. Of course, no mana on the Cho'Gath is not a good sign here. And yep, that will be Zac cleaning up Ponyo here. Tornado catching Xerath off guard. Let's see if Lee Sin's able to punish the Janna. Will be able to land on her, but Corki's damage is absolutely absurd. The kick comes off, but not enough to do anything about that barrier shield. And it will be little old Ghosty cleaning up that misfortune. So that is not great, as that is 8 kills onto Corki. They are pushing into this tower. Aurora catches the Yone here, gets a quick proc off. Janna's going to probably be able to CC the Yone long enough for them to kill him as well. Definitely not the angle that blue side should be looking here. Definitely should be focusing a lot more on punishing this Cho'Gath top and this Kassadin mid. We've also seen that the Grubs have been alive for quite some time. At this rate, the best odds of winning are trying to split the map as much as possible and kind of using the pushed in towers and forcing blue side or red side to overextend. Zac will probably clean up Cho'Gath here, getting pretty close to killing. Unfortunately, he does tank 2 tower shots in the process, and it will be Ponyo's victory. Ponyo will struggle a bit with the wave here, but that passive will allow him some amounts of rejuvenation. It's 12 minutes in the game and we still are not seeing a dragon capture. So the objective capture has been very slow this game, and oh my golly, is that Corki's damage absolutely absurd. Taking about 1/3 HP in the time it takes to kill the mid laner. However, this is we are seeing in live time a very indecisive Yone. I don't know how I feel about going swiftness boots on a champ that absolutely adores Berserker's Greaves, and we will see actually Berserker's Greaves being the pickup here, going into Bork. I was I don't know what to think about that. That was definitely an interesting series of events that Yone spent during his gray screen. Or we'll be able to pick up... Oh no, never mind. will be actually a pickup, just a bit delayed. That was a very interesting interaction where Lee was able to kick her outside the pit by forcing her into the walls there. Of course, Aurora's strong enough just to come back in and finish the job. And she will be able to pick up the grubs here. Again, very late first pickup on the dragon here. 13 minutes, and instead we are seeing a lot more pressure put on the lanes rather than the objectives. MF ult will barely get damage done, however, Xerath will pick up the tower hurt Corki. Zac has to be a bit careful here. Of course, Cho'Gath does not have his chomp, so it looks like it will actually return into Zac's favor, as his blobs will give him a lot more immediate sustain than Cho'Gath's minion kill. However, Aurora will be here to back them up. The Heartsteel proc going off for Cho'Gath, and an undying Zac. He will eventually fall. I don't know exactly how much he should have opted into a Sunfire versus a entirely AP topside from mid-jungle and top. Definitely makes his damage reduction lower than it otherwise could be with, say, a Spirit Visage, which is a very strong item on Zac. Janna's making use of the incredible strength of Corki, playing hyper-aggressively, throwing Agent Zombie King into the lane, where Corki is able to pick her off. This might be mid-tower gone here, as there are 3 people red side, a full wave, and an incredibly strong Corki. Going to rotate the dragon. We might see a 15-minute first dragon, which is a bit absurd. Corki will have to flash away from the Zac here, but Zac also has to be careful not to get poked down too much. Kassadin's just kind of getting caught out here. Good flash play by Jack on the Yone. Bluish will go down to Lee Sin. However, I don't think Lee Sin has much threat potential on Aurora here. We can take a quick check at the items, and it will be Aurora's Aroa. That's a tongue twister. Her Rod of Ages being the superior inventory buy to the Caulfield's Tiamat combo. Of course, unlike prior games, Goat is doing a lot better on the CS front. Fortunately, that will not be enough to recover all of the kills. Blue side will pick up a couple kills here. Corki, of course, being too strong to be one of them. And just going to reset that timer on taking the dragon here. Which is, you know what? Some games, I guess, you just have very late dragons. Cho'Gath hiding in this bush for the perfect time. However, Zac's ult gives him so many blobs to heal from. Just going to re-amalgamate himself with all the slimes on the ground. Cho'Gath forced to quietly take the wave under tower. Corki getting poked up quite a bit here, but Janna will be here to support him. Janna catches the Misfortune. Misfortune is, I don't know what was happening there with the movement of Janna, but Misfortune got a lot of damage off. Zac is ignoring her, opting into the Corki here. See if Corki is able to Valkyrie away. Looks like he will be able to create enough space and will live, and will just be Bluish falling here. It does seem that Goat's team has been able to create some opportunities to bring themselves back into the game, but it's going to be very difficult with that 14-kill Corki. Yone might actually get a pickup here. We'll have to see. No, not quite. The barrier has been doing so much for X-Craze this game. Kassadin getting caught out by the Xerath, but shouldn't be too much of a threat. Cho'Gath going a bit wide there with that Rupture. That Heartsteel damage is quite a lot. Gets another proc on that Lee Sin, and blue side is very weak here. Going to be a kill for the Corki. Xerath will pick up in return, maybe even pick up the Cho'Gath, as he's left with very little HP. We're definitely seeing a lot more emphasis on fighting and tower taking than we are on the neutral objectives this game. Aurora's going to try to do her best to get out, but she kind of positioned her ult in a poor location there. If she were to actually hit the edges, she would just be knocked into tower. She will fall as a result. Janna, fortunately, is able to get away there. Cho'Gath will be able to cross-map that top T1 here, as the rest of the team is just kind of pushing through. Xerath might catch, or rather, Kassadin does catch Xerath off guard here. Cho'Gath a bit too pushed in, and Yone, or rather Zac, will actually get a 550 gold shutdown, and seems that Yone has disconnected. Curiously enough, you'll have to see what happens next. In terms of items, that Corki is on his third item, picking up a Zeal, building into probably what we can infer is a rapid-fire cannon. It's going to allow him to get a lot more easier time getting that last auto in. Misfortune's looking for an execute here. Let's see if she has the ability to do so, and it does look like Aurora will not catch up to her in time. Of course, she's already not worth very much, so I suppose it's still better than the alternative. Yone is still out of the fight here. I'm surprised we have not seen a pause go through. Janna's doing quite a bit to punish here. Maybe you do see a Valkyrie out, and oh my lord, that's half the damage out just in one auto QR from X-Craze's Corki. Absolutely devastating. The entire blue side jungle is going to be in the red side hands here as Ponyo's team is moving into this mid tower. Going to be trying to clear this tower. The two minions they have might get caught out here. Corki is able to make distance, as well as Kassadin with his dash. Aurora ults out of the way, making use of that small jump she gets. Cho'Gath punishing Asian Zombie King. Zac will probably fall here in his blob form, and yes, he does not revive. Got a chain of CC coming from Cho'Gath, hitting that Xerath, and that's going to be 5 people pushing mid here, with only Goat alive. Not many options here. Corki, at this rate, is probably strong enough to keep pushing into them. They are offset decently large amount here in terms of death timers. And it looks like Agent Zombie is left as well. I'm very confused as to what's going on here. And it looks like it is a surrender, interestingly enough. So that's going to conclude our Game 3 and my second week casting the Ponyo Customs. Interestingly enough, it was a 3-0 sweep by Ponyo. Very good job, and props to your team for always, for whatever reason, choosing to make that strange invade play level 1. I can't say that level of variance is recommended, but it certainly worked out for you. And see all of you in 2 weeks.